Jamel Bowie is a writer for Slate. He's a pundit who was spectacularly incorrect about everything, every step of the way during the election. Well, now he has some more gems for us here. So the other day he wrote an article, not kidding about this, and might sound like some sort of parody or something, but no, he said, quote, "There's no such thing as a good Trump voter." Wow. So that's interesting. You know, you would expect somebody who backed Hillary Clinton so strongly that after her crushing defeat, he would take a minute and go, you know what? What's happening here? What's the Democratic Party doing wrong that we lost to a reality star buffoon who said grab them by the pussy? What happened? What did we do wrong? No. That's sometimes it hurts to do introspection because you find things that you're like, ooh, I was wrong about that one. So no, what does he do? Deflect. There's no such thing as a good Trump voter. You're all racist. You're all sexist. Now, don't get me wrong. Some Trump supporters are racist and sexist. That doesn't mean all of them are. And that doesn't mean there aren't good people who were in a tough spot who liked what he had to say on trade because their town was decimated by NAFTA, maybe. Just one example of somebody who might vote for Trump. And also, I find it fucking infuriating that these are the same people. Jamel Bowie would rightly say, hey man, look at you right-wingers saying there's no such thing as a good Muslim. That's crazy bigotry. Now, obviously there are some terrorists and extremists within the Muslim community. There are some ultra-conservative people in that community. We're all against them. But why would you smear all of them? So the same people who scream for nuance on certain issues, well, when it comes to Trump voters, like, nuance? Fuck nuance. You're all racist. You're all sexist. You're all bad. So why wouldn't this be a bigoted line of thinking, Jamel? No, but it is. Hashtag not all doesn't only apply to Muslims. It also applies to Trump voters. Why? We look for the root causes of terrorism. Sometimes it's ideology, yes. But sometimes it's rooted in U.S. foreign policy or extreme poverty and hopelessness, and there's an amalgamation of factors that lead somebody to terrorism. But no, a mix of factors for somebody to vote for Trump? Never a mix of factors. No nuance allowed. You're just a bigot. You're just a bad person. There's no such thing as a good Trump voter. No such thing as a good Trump voter. Aren't I such a good tolerant liberal by saying there's no such thing as a good Trump voter? Okay, so let me give you a different piece he wrote. We're not even going to get into that one because that's also mind-numbingly stupid. And actually, you know what? Before I get into it, I'm all over the place here. But his contradictions are also ridiculous. Michael Tracy was tweeting about this earlier. There was one article that Jamel Bowie wrote where he said Donald Trump is a fascist. There was another article he wrote at a different time where he said Donald Trump is a moderate Republican. Like, you're not coherent. You're incoherent. You make whatever argument suits your hacky partisan purposes at that point in time. You're a joke. Do you not get that? Actual political thinkers look at you and they fucking laugh. I laugh at you. Never mind the other articles. Hillary Clinton's likely going to win in a landslide against Donald Trump. Right. So you couldn't see it coming. Therefore, that's got to be the case. Let me write an article and make an ass of myself. Because, data, evidence, red flags and signs that maybe this guy's a viable candidate, like him being underestimated every step of the fucking way. No, forget all that. So now he wrote an article, the Democrats, quote, "The Democrats are screwing up the resistance to Donald Trump, how Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren misread the election." Oh boy, here we go. So Bernie Sanders, who was most right every step of the way, he misread the election. Not you who said Hillary Clinton would win in a landslide. Not you who called Donald Trump a fascist, but then also a moderate Republican at a different time. Not you. No, it's got to be Bernie Sanders. So what does he argue in his piece? He says, quote, "It seems reasonable for Warren and Sanders to make a distinction between Trump as a blue-collar populist and Trump as a racist demagogue. But that distinction doesn't exist." Supporting a Trump-branded infrastructure initiative as a discrete piece of policy where two sides can find common ground only bolsters a white nationalist politics, even if you oppose the rest of Trump's agenda. It legitimizes and gives fuel to white tribalism as a political strategy. It shows that there are tangible gains for embracing Trump-style demagoguery. white voters backed Trump as a bloc. They ignored his bigotry and elevated his call for a new nationalism centered on white Americans. Whatever their actual intentions, whether they were partisan Republicans, hardcore Trumpists, or simply disgusted with Hillary Clinton, they voted for white nationalism, full stop. No, not full stop. Dude, there's been 3, 4, 5 pieces written since the election where some people who actually care about being reasonable and looking at evidence to figure out what happened, they went to, for example, places in Ohio where Obama won in a landslide, but then Trump won in this past election. They're going, whoa, Hillary Clinton thought this place was a lockup because Obama, won it running away. But now she got her ass handed to her in this county. Why is that? Let's go figure out. They go talk to the people. The people are like, yeah, NAFTA destroyed. We have one factory in town. It got shipped out with NAFTA. Donald Trump, in every speech, talks about how NAFTA was terrible. Hillary Clinton never mentions it. He's talked about how TPP is terrible. Hillary Clinton says she's against it, but she never talks about it on the campaign trail. We don't believe her. So, yeah, we voted for Trump because we want to have jobs. Jamel Bowie, quote, they voted for white nationalism, full stop. Which is why they voted for Barack Obama in 2008 and 2012, right? No, see, you're not just wrong. You're embarrassingly, comically, pathetically wrong. Because I don't even think you want the right answer. Like, you're not writing to try to figure out what actually happened and to diagnose the problem and fix it for the future. You're writing for partisan, hacky reasons. Trump bad, Hillary good. Now let me write an article that supports that. But you end up making yourself look like a fool with arguments like this that are nowhere near true. But the most important part of this hilarious article, he said it, don't make me repeat it. Supporting a Trump-branded infrastructure initiative as a discrete piece of policy where two sides can find common ground only bolsters white nationalist politics, even if you oppose the rest of Trump's agenda. So get what he's saying there. Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders, to their credit, have been making the rounds. Bernie's also promoting his book, Our Revolution, but he's been on the late night shows, and what's he been saying? He's out there going, okay, look, here's the bottom line, man. We will oppose Donald Trump. We will not give an inch to Donald Trump on any of his negative policies. He wants to talk about banning all Muslims. He wants to talk about deporting 11 million undocumented immigrants. He wants to implement, policies that would make it so a woman can't control her own body. They are sexist policies, and we're going to oppose them fiercely. They're saying that, but then they're also saying, look, he said on the campaign trail he opposes TPP. We're going to hold him accountable. And if he wants to block TPP, if he wants to get rid of TPP, we're with him on that. That's what's going to happen. If he wants to do an infrastructure project, which he spoke about on the campaign trail, which, by the way, no other Republican ever speaks about, but he says he wants to do infrastructure spending, okay, guess what? We're going to hold you accountable, Don, and we're going to be on your side, and we're going to fight to get an infrastructure project, but now you can't go back on your word. Let's do an infrastructure project. So in other words, Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren and all progressive Democrats are being reasonable human beings who say, hey, if we can get something good out of this monster, well, obviously we take it. For those of you who don't know, when was the last minimum wage increase? Under George W. Bush. It was, I believe, $5.15 an hour, and now it's $7.25 an hour. That increase was signed by President George W. Bush. Under Jamel Bowie's logic, he should say, hey, all you idiots who are making $7.25 an hour, do me a favor. Give back some of the money and give yourself only $5.15 an hour. Why? Because, look, working with a Republican president on issues that are positive, like infrastructure or raising the minimum wage, that is unacceptable because then that legitimizes the rest of their ideology. So everybody accepting $7.25 an hour, you all are basically supporting the Iraq War and the worldwide torture regime that George W. Bush set up. Counterpoint, no, they're not. And it amazes me that he thought, like the fact that this wasn't like a thought to him and then he immediately dismissed it as the dumbest thing he's ever heard is hilarious. Like, really? So this is the definition of cut off your nose to spite your face. So let's say Trump comes in there. Let's say it was a Trojan horse move. He didn't mean any of the bigoted shit that he said. But he goes in there, he's like, you know what? I'm still that New York Democrat that was running around in the 1990s. Single-payer healthcare tomorrow. What are you going to do, Jamel? No, we have to be against it because Donald Trump is for it and, something. White nationalism! Full stop. No, not full stop. Full stop on you and your articles because they're hilariously dumb.